right, this is my very favorite morning routine that I do. And these are a series of exercises that I consider my non-negotiables in the morning. I try to do these every day or almost every day. And so here I'm starting with what we call dead bug. There's a variety of different ways to do this, but essentially you're lying on your back, moving your arms and your legs and keeping your torso stable. It's a core exercise. From there, I move on to some variation of a clam shell. So I'm warming up my core, my glutes, which are really part of the core, which I think is super interesting. And I'm going through this actually fairly quickly and not doing as many reps as I typically would, because I want you to just get the idea of it. From there, I go into some thoracic twisting. I love this. It just feels good. And what you're looking for is that you're rotating through the thoracic spine, but we're keeping the hips and the knees stable. So we're not letting them move. So you might not get your shoulder all the way to the floor. That's fine. Switching to the other side. So of course, we're always doing both sides. We don't want to be lopsided. So my mornings, I like to warm up my core, my glutes, and I like to move my spine. So I'll do those twistings. The thoracic twists are great because that will actually increase how much movement you have in flexion and extension as well. So warming up the twisting first, and then after doing these thoracic twists, I'll start to make my way up onto my hands and my knees and work through some cat and cow. So here we are again, just warming up the spine, making sure the spine is going to move in all directions. So core, glutes, spine. And now I'm warming up my shoulders. These are what I call scapular push-ups and circles, moving the shoulder blades on the back of the body. Okay, we're moving into some more shoulder stabilization work. So really maintaining strength through the pelvic floor and core as I lift one arm off the floor, keeping that hand above the elbow as I sweep the arm back and forwards. This is going to work on stabilizing that shoulder before I take weight into my hands in my first downward facing dog. Pedaling the feet out a couple times, noticing the tension in the backs of my legs. Then I like to move through a little bit of a lunge sequence, take the hips into some extension. So that's when we take the knee behind the hip. Some, again, a little bit of twisting here. And then stepping back to downward facing dog. Good. So as I said, these are my non-negotiables. So here, this is what I call a hip hinge. So I like to warm this up as well, making sure the hips are moving, and then again, some shoulder work. So prepping the upper body to take more weight into the hands. I always like to do this before I spend any amount of time on my hands because, in yoga, we tend to just think the upper body will be able to support the body weight, but the upper body is not the same as the lower body. Look at the difference between the arms and the legs. Clearly, the shoulder is not built to support the weight of your body the way your lower body is. And so we need to actively work on strengthening, stabilizing the shoulder, mobilizing the shoulder, getting it moving so that we can take weight into our hands and feel good doing it. The point of this movement sequence here is to feel good in our bodies. This is nothing fancy, but this is solid feel good.